Bonjour et bienvenue pour ce 9e épisode de MissMymooPlays Game of Thrones. Alors, donc nous incarnons un nouveau personnage, Alistair. Alistair qui est l'héritier d'une cité alliée aux Lannister, eux-mêmes alliés de Robert Baratheon, le nouveau roi du royaume des Sept Couronnes, de Westeros donc, qui avait fait un coup d'état pour s'emparer du trône. Donc ce très cher Alistair, après la prise de pouvoir de Robert Baratheon il y a 15 ans, avait quitté le royaume des Sept Couronnes pour aller se réfugier dans les cités libres, on ne sait pas trop pourquoi. Et donc il avait abandonné un peu toute sa famille. Et il revient à présent à Puisseg, parce que son précepteur, Nasrar Win, l'a informé que son père venait de décéder. Donc on sait pas trop comment est-ce qu'on va être accueilli après ces 15 années de silence radio. On va voir ça tout de suite.
You know, after you left, Lord Reynald changed. He began to live more and more in the past and stopped taking care of his duties. Your sister quickly found herself managing more than she should have.
Lyanna helped my father govern?
Well, these last few months, she's practically run the house herself. In spite of her efforts, she was unable to slow the inevitable ruin of her lands without a lord. But all is not so dark. Many of your father's vassals remain faithful to their oath. They have all come to the burial in order to honor his memory. We will speak of all this again after the ceremony. Let us make haste, I beg of you.
Ok, donc on va au funérailles de mon père. C'est parti. Très bien, très bien.
Hello, Red Priest. I am Lady Lyanna Sarwick, daughter of the late Lord Sarwick. You are just in time for the ceremony. Were you close to my father?
You have changed much in 15 years, little sister.
Why have you returned? We don't need you here.
Harwin told me of father's death. It was my duty to come.
15 years without any news. And he had to die for us to see you again. You would have done better to stay where you were.
I do not doubt that my departure was difficult for you.
Difficult? To say the least. Your disappearance was our father's ruin. Do you know how long I cried after you left? And how long I hoped for news of you?
I am sorry. I left Westeros without once turning back, it's true. I understand your reaction. It must have been unbearable for you, but I had to leave. Know that I never forgot you.
That's easy for you to say. And you should know that we here learn to live very well without you.
I understand your reaction, Lyanna.
I doubt it. Go pay your last respects to father. We will speak later.
Accueil chez
May
le
the
breton, je l'avais
stranger,
dit.
the eternal outcast, now guide you to the Father, and may he judge you fairly and deliver you from the torments of the seven hells.
Who is that man? I believe that is the elder Sarwick, the one who disappeared. He has certainly changed, but I recognize him.
C'était spécial, effectivement, une drôle de façon de payer ses respects à son père. Mais bon. Chacun ses coutumes, non? visiblement, ça n'a pas trop plu.
How could you desecrate our father's body that way?
I desecrated nothing. I performed the final kiss, the tribute that priests of Relore pay to the dead.
You may be a Red Priest, but you should respect the beliefs of Riverspring.
I did not intend to be disrespectful, little sister.
Do not think that it is easy for me to speak with you after all this time.
On va être compréhensif.
Please, Eliana, listen. I left Westeros without a goodbye, and you have every reason to be angry with me. 15 years ago, the war that King Robert Baratheon fought to claim the throne forced me to commit deeds which haunt me still. The very idea of returning to you was too painful. I did the only thing left for me to do. I left and began a new life elsewhere. Not long ago, I received a letter from Maester Harwin telling of Father's death. I could no longer hide myself. It was time to confront my past. What I regret the most, Eliana, is that by fleeing to the other side of the waters, it is you whom I wounded.
All these years, I have thrown a veil over your memory. And you return at the moment when everything is in turmoil. I must be alone for the moment. I will see you later, Alistair.
Take your time, little sister. I understand.
Alistair, Maester Harwin would like to speak with you. He awaits you in the castle courtyard. And if I may add, you should be ashamed of that kiss during the ceremony.
My thanks, Ravella. I shall go and see him.
Bon, bah fallait s'y attendre, hein. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire? Lui parler à elle? Madame
I
de
am not
Bozoki.
sure there is more to discuss between us, Alistair. I am sincerely sorry for your loss. You know how much your father meant to me. Unless you are truly ready to listen to me, it would be best that you leave.
Non, elle comprend pas. Bon.
I knew you to be less ardent, Ravella.
And I knew you to be more respectful. This ceremony was held under the Watch of the Seven, and your shameful act did nothing but needlessly shock and disgust decent people.
I am sorry, Scepter. From now on, the rights of the Seven no longer concern me. I have chosen another path. Can you not see that you and all the lost souls of Westeros worship different rays of the same light? Your entire pantheon, your 7 gods, do you not feel that they are just pieces of one whole, of something much bigger?
If you would listen to my lessons, you would know that for the sages, the 7 are but one. But in order to understand that, one must understand the full scope of their teachings. Perhaps it would be better to worship a simple wood fire like other Red Priests do. It's always easier to worship that which burns brightly.
The flame brings light and warmth. It is the source of life.
No doubt other creatures share your beliefs. Like those whores, for example. I've seen one of your kind in action. Thoros of Myr was his name. A fornicator and a drunk.
Bon, je crois qu'on se lance dans une discussion sans fin.
To err is to be human. Our order does not encourage lust, Ravella. But the pleasures of the flesh are not altogether forbidden, if they are carried out in an act of love. And I myself have seen fat septons give themselves over to drink. However, I don't judge all septons based on these rare cases.
I've heard it all. A heretic daring to judge a true believer.
I will not allow you to speak to me in this manner, Ravella. I respect your beliefs, and you will respect mine.
Forgive me, my lord. I forgot my place.
Your fervor does you credit, Ravella. You raised me, as you raised my brother and sister. But I cannot allow one of my subjects to show me disrespect. Do you understand?
Of course. I shall be careful in the future.
I don't doubt it.
Ah, les guerres de religion, c'est toujours pareil. Ok, ok, ok. Très bien. Donc, c'était Maître Arwin qui voulait nous voir dans la cour. Où est-il? Ah, il est là.
Ah, Alistair, there you are. Please leave us. So, you're not too unsettled by the situation here?
Que dire, un peu des deux, quoi. Allez, on va se concentrer sur nos sujets.
What I saw of the town upon my arrival was enough. It is a disaster. The people cannot go on like this. I have heard tell that neighboring lords have taken our people's lands.
Indeed. The poverty has worsened over the years. When neighboring lords became aware of your father's situation, they took advantage of the opportunity.
But they have no right to do so. Our lieges, the Lannisters, should have been notified.
Indeed. But our relations with them have suffered since your father held Tywin Lannister responsible for your departure. It was after his death that your sister decided to reopen talks by going to see the most influential member of their family. That is why she requested an audience with Queen Cersei Lannister at the Red Keep. It was made very clear our lieges will act once our land has a new master. So your sister worked towards this end. Riverspring has belonged to House Sarwick for generations. Ilyana has refused to marry a lord from any other house. So, the Queen has chosen a man for your sister.
Who is it?
Valar, your father's bastard son, your half-brother.
Valar? I left Westeros hoping never to hear that name again. It is out of the question for my sister to marry him. He shares our blood. How can the Queen condone a marriage which goes against nature?
You realize that if Ilyana were to wed another lord, she would take her husband's name. Being a bastard, Valar has no family name. It was the only solution to keep Riverspring for House Sarwick.
Oui, quel intérêt elle a reine?
Why choose Valar for a suitor? What does the Queen want?
From what I heard while accompanying your sister to King's Landing for her audience at court, Valar distinguished himself through his exploits. I know that the Queen enjoys surrounding herself with strong, devoted men. That is the case for Valar. By giving him this gift, she ensures his loyalty and increases her power.
But Valar was just a squire when he went off to war with me. It would take more than that to be a suitor worthy of our name.
Seeing him return alone from the war, your father blamed him for your disappearance. No matter how much Valar claimed to work for the prosperity of House Sarwick, your father wouldn't hear any of it. He cursed him and chased him away from Riverspring for good. Your half-brother was mad with rage and left seeking vengeance. Apparently, he spent several years at the Citadel, using education to compensate for his low birth.
A maester cannot become a lord.
He never became maester, but stopped at the rank of acolyte. He learned the art of war, studied the higher mysteries, and forged links. He was then thrown out of the Citadel several years later for studying the forbidden arts. He's been a sellsword ever since. His reputation spread quickly, and royal ears heard of him. In 2 years, he went from simple soldier to the Queen's Guard. He moves in the shadows. The nobles of the court fear him.
Valar. He has taken too much from me already. I cannot just stand by while he marries my sister.
There is something else of which we should speak. I would have liked to spare you this. I do not believe that your father's death was an accident. There are certain indications that lead me to believe that he was poisoned.
Are you sure?
Believe me, Alistair, I know this subject. The Strangler is a difficult poison to detect, but it leaves certain traces that cannot be caused by anything else.
Did Father have any ongoing conflicts which could have prompted someone to murder him?
I am not certain, but there are rumors of a possible culprit.
Tell me who it is.
This may overwhelm you, but the rumors say that it is your younger brother, Gawain.
Ah bah de mieux en mieux.
Gawain? He was but a child when I left.
He and Lord Reynold had some serious quarrels, and he disappeared on the very night of your father's death. We've had no news of him since.
Why? Why would he have done such a thing?
Maester Harwin! The people are rebelling. Rioting has broken out throughout the town.
With all of this festering discontent, it was only a matter of time before this happened.
Tell me, does the River Spring Guard have the situation under control?
For now, they are securing the entrances to the castle. Barricades protect us from a direct attack. But the streets are inaccessible to us. We have too few men. The guard is overwhelmed.
Who is behind this revolt?
I think I know who leads them. I crossed paths with a certain Tyrek when arriving, a rabble-rouser, telling the people to take up arms.
Tyrek? I heard some guards say that he was getting people worked up in the marketplace.
How did things get this far out of hand?
Well, the lords left the castle after the burial, with their fine clothes and all. Whereas the villagers are starving, all of this flaunted wealth must have pushed them too far. Everything erupted. The villagers began to attack the lords, taking them hostage.
You said that the revolt is being led from the main square. We must go there immediately.
Captain Ryman says that it's impossible. Our men are barely managing to keep them at bay at the castle doors. There are not enough of us to attempt an escape.
Where is Captain Ryman?
He is at the doors. He's the one that ordered the barricades.
7 hells! If Ryman deals with it, the revolt will end in flames and bloodshed.
River Spring has already suffered too much. I must join Ryman. River Spring needs me. I will not watch our land fall into ruins without acting.
Very well, but I beg you to be careful. You are a Sarwick. Act as a liege, Lord Alster, and know that your acts will have consequences.
I will do what must be done.
I am sure you will.
Très bien, très bien. Et ben c'est super, c'est sur ces intrigues de pouvoir bien entremêlées qu'on va s'arrêter là pour ce nouvel épisode de MissMymooPlays Game of Thrones. À très bientôt.